What's good, everyone? I'm so glad that you're joining me for another edition of the Listening Party, which is obviously brought to you by the Feel Good series. Now, the Feel Good series aims to bring you insight into some of the best music from a host of eclectic artists. And today's guest is one of those. He is a beloved composer, an NAACP award nominee, and a musical director. He is MANDISI DYANTYIS. Hi!
Hello, how are you?
I am trying to not butcher your surname. That is how I am. How are you?
Don't worry. I'm good. I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome, man. You know, it's so lovely to finally be talking to you because I think, you know, you're one of those artists where everybody just wants to know more and more and more. So I want to start off with asking you if you know Nzinga Kunta.
Yeah, I've known Nzinga very well.
You know her very well?
Yeah, because Nzinga's a fan. Nzinga was a fan when I was playing for 10 people. You know, she was like, who are you? What's happening? You know, and it's been very supportive.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nzinga's
She is one of the 10 that you were playing for, the first.
Yeah, first 10, she's there.
So for people who are watching and aren't, you know, familiar, Nzinga is a business anchor. She's on the public broadcaster, and she has a very interesting Twitter bio. Part of her bio reads, "I love Africa, art, the outdoors, and MANDISI DYANTYIS' music." So how does that feel when somebody who's so prominent in people's faces is constantly, like, she's consistent with, like, this artist is amazing? How does that make you feel?
It's special, you know. It's brilliant. For me, the whole reception, you know, of this music has been absolutely amazing. I did not envision it at all. You know, we've been playing some of this music, and we've been playing it in small venues around Cape Town. You know, just you know, gigging around, and I guess we were used to that sort of audience. And so when the album came out and a lot more people connected with it, we were just shocked.
Yeah.
Well, what's this? No.
Yeah.
So it's been funny. It's been really funny.
Yeah. So you have some very famous fans and you have some not so famous fans, right? But only two things happen when your name comes up. There's no gray area.
Yeah.
Two things happen. So either people don't know you at all and they're about to know you and fall in love with you, or the minute your name is mentioned, people become stans. Like, it's properly fandom. And what I'm interested in is how that affects you as a creator, right? Because when you put out this music that comes from a very personal place and you are the person creating it, you don't know what the public is going to react, how the public is going to react. But once you know now that you are this darling in the music industry, does that affect how you compose going forward?
That's a very good question because, I run away from things, you know. I make a conscious effort of running away from things of that nature, you know. I have a very simple way of working. I've always had a very simple way of working. I work by myself. If you came to the studio that I work in, it's all solitude. So I'm cut off from the world. I don't, you know, for days and days, I don't see people, you know. I travel from my house to the studio and work and go to my house.
You were social distancing before it was a thing.
No. Me, social distancing is not a problem because you're right, that can affect you, you know, and I'm very hard. If I would tell you my outlook on that, it would not be, it doesn't necessarily sound good, but the sacrifices, as an artist, the sacrifices that you need to do, you know, you need to be aware of the energies, you know, because sometimes we are caught with believing energies, you know, that are positive energies. But the moment you start believing that, oh, you are this thing, then problems start coming. Whereas for me, I put my whole faith, my whole effort and energy on the music. You know, people don't necessarily love me, you know, they don't even want to know me. You know, they want to know they want to know the music that comes through me.
Mm.
You see, that's what people are interested in. They're interested in the music that comes through you.
Yeah.
You know, and so you as an artist, therefore, need to sort of differentiate between those things and not put yourself in front of the art.
Mm. Yeah.
So that's how I get out of believing that I am this because I'm not. The music is the darling. You know, I love the music as much as people love it. You know, and I live, man. I go out and walk and take walks and live life because music comes from that. Music doesn't come from a place where you think, oh, I can write a good song. Music, you know, music comes from life. Music comes from experiences. Music comes from feeling other people's pain. You know, as much as you feel pain, music comes from laughter, from friends, from family. You know, art comes from that, from nature, from just the mundane. You know, I'm a random person, so that also helps.
I want to pick up on two things that you said. Right, the first one is about how the music comes through you, right, and people don't love you necessarily; they love the music, right? But I think even when the music is coming through you, it takes a certain level of vulnerability to be able to be obedient to it and bring it out the way it wants to come out, right? But are you always in a state of being willing to be vulnerable? Are you always willing to be obedient? Because if that's what people love.
I run away from songwriting. I run away from songs. You know, I don't want to write. They come and I'm like, no, it's not happening today. No, it's not happening. And they come and I'm like, it's not happening. But then they will capture you. You know, they will capture you. You'll feel, and there's a distinct feeling, you know, where you are talking to people and you can't concentrate, or the song is just ringing and you cannot do anything else but you know, just sit down and write write a song because the song wants to come out. I have no choice in that. But as much as I can, I always like to think that I have a choice. Like, not today. But I don't have a choice in that. But also, it's the work that the music does to me. You know, it's the healing I get. So when people say, "Hey, your song has healed me," you know, the music has healed me first. You know, the song has healed me first. When they say, "Oh, I'm in love with the song has made me fall in love," the music has made me fall in love first. You know, I'm at the first receiving end, you know, of the music. So I go through exactly the same things, if not more, because I guess I have to be portraying and telling these stories afresh all the time.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So the second thing I wanted to pick up on is something you've said now twice, that you run away. Yeah. And that's a very interesting choice of words, right? Like, you run away. Where does that come from? No, I do. How you deal with things in general, like you tend to run away. Like, where does it come from?
When you can't fight something, you run away. You know, I can't fight the energies that come with music. I can't fight the energy. You know, I can't fight these things. You know, if I could, I stand my ground and fight. You know, I do that. You pick your fights. But with music, you're always gonna lose, especially in the way that I've chosen to live my life in music. You know, because I've made a conscious effort that my art needs to say something. My art needs to say something to me. It needs to make me a better person. It needs to rebuke me sometimes. It needs to soothe me sometimes. It needs to take me to the places where I would not necessarily go to, in conversations or in normal thought, if you like. I need my art to take me there, but I also want my art to connect with people and do those sort of things, heal, provoke, and just let people think a bit about certain things that happen.
Yeah. Okay. So music is not a big bully. Sometimes it's nice to you.
Hey, sometimes, you know, but most times it's a bully. It bullies me.
So, you know, we started this conversation off by talking about love, right? The love that people have for you and your music, and the love that you have for music. And I think it's only right that we talk about Ndimthanda. Yeah. Which is one of the songs that people love. So if you haven't heard it before, this is Ndimthanda by MANDISI DYANTYIS.
Kuchisa kubanda kusasa nasemini equmbile enqumile esenza into zakhe.
So that was Ndimthanda by MANDISI DYANTYIS of his debut album SOMANDLA. In this song, MANDISI, you say that love, like you love this person when she wakes up, when she walks, or let me not even say she, right? Because whoever's listening can apply it to the person that they love. But you love this person when it's hot, when it's cold, like you just love this person. How does this song come to you and come through you?
I remember distinctly when I wrote it, or when it started coming to me. I was walking to a shop. I was walking to buy something like food or something.
Yeah.
I always walk in Cape Town in the streets of Rondebosch, and it's just, and I was thinking about. I'm always thinking about the things that we don't say, because in the society today, we like to be in control of feelings or thoughts and stuff like that. But I was thinking of utande umdu to a point where you have no control. Umtanda umdu nje, like umtanda umdu ezenzela into zakhe.
Yeah.
Things that have nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
And things that are not about you. But umthande encokola nabanye abantu pha umjonga uthi manje ngiyamthanda la umthande when they are fighting with you sometimes, have you ever had that thing in that moment when they're fighting with you? Yeah, you're like, I would not be fighting with anyone, but it's things like that for me that I was trying to capture in that song. That love sometimes doesn't have these roses. I buy you roses and then flowers and then up the mountain and then it's just love is there. Love is when nikhele couching, and you're watching TV, you're watching random things, and you take a look and you're like, yeah, this is it. I think that's what was trying to capture, and I think that's what people gravitate towards, is that it has nothing to do with the gloss, it has everything to do with the heart to heart.
Yeah, and it's also independent of you and your relation to the person, right?
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with them. Abangendawo in this thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't control these things here,
Yeah. What I also found interesting in that song is you're right in saying, like, you haven't written about, like, it's just roses, it's just glitz, it's always the good things. But also in love songs in any genre, there tends to not be a focus on people's negative traits. Because like the way that you say things like, umthanda noma enza into zakhe, that can also be read as like when she's pouting or when she's moody or, in a not so positive light.
Yeah. No. That doesn't necessarily need to be positive. As I'm saying to you, like when they're fighting or when they're angry, they come there, they're angry, like, that's a time, like it could be,
Yeah.
This person not talking to you, they're mad at you, but the love is there. You're like, okay.
Yeah, but I like that it kind of conveys the idea that you're worthy of love even when you're moody and when you are not a nice person in that moment, because sometimes love songs make it seem like you love someone who's perfect.
Yeah. No, that's not on.
So speaking of love songs, something I appreciate about your album, SOMANDLA, is that I think love is a common thread throughout the album, but it's not necessarily romantic love.
Yeah.
All the time. There's different types of love. And I'm thinking here about a song called Olwetu. And before we discuss it, maybe let's play it for everyone so we can all be on the same page. You're still hanging out with me and MANDISI DYANTYIS on the Feel Good series listening party, and that was his song All the Way To off the SOMANDLA album. So MANDISI, at first listen, it's easy to assume that these robust horns and like the way that the keys kind of taper off in like this longing way are conveying a deep, even romantic love. And you think, ooh, the title is about like Uthando Lwethu. But that's not actually where your head was when you composed the song, right? Tell me about that.
My younger brother who passed on very sudden in a car accident. He was 21. He was 21, just young. And I always say to people, it was the first time where I lost a lot of people before, like my grandmother, my mother. But Olwethu was the first time I'd lost someone young, and it was the first time losing someone so sudden, and there's something that messes up with you in an accident, because one day you're talking to a person and they're fine, they're literally fine, and then the next day they're not there, and your head cannot comprehend that. You're like,
yeah.
What? Because you don't see them frail or sick and all those things, so that you have at least an avenue to focus on. And it took me a long time to try and articulate how I felt, because I just didn't know, so I didn't say anything. And I remember I was sitting in my place the one day, and I started playing. I was thinking of him, because there's a T-shirt of his that I love wearing every now and then.
Yeah.
And I think I was wearing it for some reason. And I started playing, and that melody came, and it was sort of like an uplifting melody, like he was saying, "Budi, it's okay, it's okay," because it's a melody that for the music heads, it's like a canon. It goes round and round and round and round. It doesn't want to end. It doesn't want to end. As a matter of fact, we don't end it. The piano player will end it in a gig, because we can't end it, And I was seeing that as him going, it's all right. Life continues. I'm okay. You must be okay. But it goes dark sometimes in that song. It just, whenever we play that song, it can get really, really dark. But it was a celebration. It's also a celebration of a young life.
Yeah.
It's a celebration of losing someone so vibrant, with sort of future, So yeah, that's all it.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned the canon and how cyclical it is, because I feel like that's probably the nature of love, right? Like it's infinite, forever. You can't end it. There's no.
You can't end it.
And I love that it feels like he co-wrote the song with you.
Definitely. That's why sometimes it gets a bit dark, because sometimes I literally don't know where to put it in a set, because I know once I've played it in a set, there's another presence already. There's another presence within us, and yeah. Especially.
Yeah. So how do you find yourself to the light then? Because when people listen to your album, I guess they see themselves and they can relate to some of the things that you convey. So that's helping them. The album's helping them. What helps you to make your way back to the light?
Different things at different times. I'm a person who always finds meaning on the most simple things, like the most simple things. I always find meaning, and I'm always grateful for the small things. I'm grateful for waking up. I'm grateful for walking. I'm grateful for breathing, and so that's that. I find light on. I think the one thing is when I can do it again. The tomorrow for me, for me, the light is on tomorrow, because I know that whatever it is that I was going through today, tomorrow it's going to be better. That's how I love tomorrow. I love, for instance, I love Mondays. I love the beginning of a new week. I love the beginning of a new month. Because for me, those things, resemble the fact that I'm here again. Let's do it.
That's powerful. So the song All the Way To on the album is followed by I Search.
Yeah.
And there's this saying, I see it on Instagram all the time, so I don't know if it's an internet saying or if it existed before, but there's this saying that there are ears that ask questions and there are ears that answer. And in, that kind of from Oluwethu to I Search, I wonder about if you feel the same about albums, that there are albums that ask questions and there are albums that answer.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Hey, man, why are you asking so much beautiful questions? So good. You're right, absolutely. So, Oluwethu, I Search Because You Knew. For me, they are sort of like the same song, because after I had opened myself up that way in Oluwethu, I'm not as strong as I think I am. I am I'm mortal, I'm fragile, and all I'm doing is trying to search for something I can cling on, in order for me to move again, because sometimes I remember, sometimes I can have these concepts, of exactly how I'm feeling about something, and then conceptualize it and make it sound rosy because I'm trying to protect myself from a certain feeling, but all the way to opened me up, and then I go and search, and as a man, you're not allowed to cry. As a man, you're not allowed to say certain things. As a man, you're not allowed to show your vulnerability. As a man, you're not allowed to, and I'm going there. I'm saying I am vulnerable, and I'll cry if I want to cry. I'll scream if I want to cry because this thing hurts. This thing shouldn't happen. Sort of wrestling with the creator and saying, why did you do it now? You could have taken me. I'm older than him. I had more life. Why did you take his young life? I'm wrestling with sort of those things. And then because you knew, it's sort of the answers then that come, that everything happens in its time.
Yeah.
And everything that happens is not going to be what you think must happen, and I have this thing I want to say all the time. I'm fascinated about the concept of a creature and the creator. I'm but a creature. I'm just a creature, and I have a creator. And sometimes there are times where I need to go back to my creator and say, "Hey, man, I'm kind of lost, eh? So because you knew is that because we think we know, but we don't. And all we can do is to try and and learn from the experiences, and see what we can find. Can we find some semblance of sanity, and stuff? So you see what I mean when I'm saying music bullies me.
I do. I see. And the interesting thing about going back to your creator and asking for these answers is you can't hear the answers when you are being a busybody. Sometimes, which is the song I want to talk about next. So if you haven't actually experienced MANDISI's song, Twaga, here it is now.
Mazamu kutinyelisa tibenze Mazamu kutikoba mandla tibenze
That's MANDISI DYANTYIS' song, Twaga. And on the song, MANDISI, you sing about these characters who basically taunt you, right? And you ask, Ndibenze Lina. And it sounds like there's also this plea for a higher power to give you some power to be still and ubajonge. So tell me about the genesis of this song.
This song came about just seeing people's destruction, man. People have been destroyed by saying the wrong things. And because now one society looks at how you react.
Yeah.
You see, the society does not look at what made you react the way you did. So I'll say something to you, and then you react and then you will be, you'll be banished, you'll be cancelled because how dare you say something like that?
Yeah.
There are forces, that are adamant on doing that or just coming at people for whatever thing, we would be talking here and someone will find fault in our conversation, And of course, we might feel like, we want to defend ourselves. When we defend ourselves, we say something that will then get us both cancelled, meaning that now the greatest skill that one can possess is knowing when to speak or actually not saying anything.
Yep.
So now silence is the greatest skill that we can possess in this environment. And so, but I do also realize that silence is not easy.
Yeah.
Especially when people are attacking yourself, your being,
and your character.
And your character, Yeah. But so therefore I go back to the Creator and say, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do, but it is something that now in this society we really, really need to possess. Especially where we used to have conversations, so things would be said between me and you. Now people write. It's a Twitter war, and then once you've written it, it's out there. It's said. So we don't have the luxury of I know that I love conversations. I'm not the best person to write things, because there are things that I'm passionate about, and I know when I speak about them, I can appear in a certain way, But amen, we need a mind to talk.
Yeah, I too love conversations, and for me, one of my favorite things about the opportunities to talk to musicians in particular, and to interview anyone really, is just the energy between us when we're sitting together. Yeah. And in this new climate, where everything has to happen through a screen, sometimes I feel like even if we don't lose the energy, it's a different kind of energy. And sometimes it takes some getting into. It doesn't feel the same as the old, fun times. Yeah. So that's something I struggle with, the screen war thing. Yeah. And I'm wondering for you, as somebody who's still gigging, but gigging in the virtual realm, you don't get to see people the way you used to when you were on a stage and they were in front of you. They are not singing back your lyrics like they used to do. So how do you reconcile that? Is that something that's still fun for you? Is it something that's still fulfilling, even though there's this screen as a barrier?
The music, we are in the shows that we are putting out. I'm playing a lot of new music, So just hearing it for the first time with the guys, I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying just even the thought of knowing that someone somewhere is hearing it. I don't often know who, where, or how. I can't see them, but just the thought that even at this time, I'm able to be communicating, with the art. And I'm very grateful. At the moment, gratitude is what keeps me going, because I know a lot of musicians are suffering. A lot of artists are suffering. It's hard when you go into these things and you see musicians selling instruments and all those things. And to be able to be in a position where I'm still, playing music, and then every now and then people talk about how the music you were playing helped.
So you're still able to connect. That's very cool.
Yeah.
And speaking about connection, when is that duet with Simpiwe Dana coming? The Twitter streets don't sleep. Everyone's seen it now. We want to know, when is the song happening?
I know I'm the small fish here. You see, I'm the small fish. You should be talking to the big fish. That's all I'm gonna say now. Me, I'm small. I'm small. Talk to the big one. Yeah. Because me, I'm ready. I've got songs for days. Simpiwe has done a lot for South African music. I talk about her fondly because I always say to people, man, she wrote songs that flipped us as young people. They have flipped us. They flipped us. Her lyrics content, like, don't get me started on Tempiwe, actually, like, she's like one of the best Xhosa lyrical writers ever,
Yeah.
She goes, uze undikolele xa ndidlula endleleni ngoba sendihamba kwesinye isitalato. She goes, I might be walking here, you might be seeing me, but andikho apha, I'm on the other side, And then she's, my favorite lyric, she goes, ngubani othanda nawo amandla wazi njani phantse ndamamela yena xa sithanda nawo. And then she goes, Themba limbi andinalo, nguwe Themba lam. Come on, man, don't no. In varsity, I would don't stop me there, like, because for me the beauty of music sometimes is when the lyric meets the melody, the marriage between a lyric, and for her to be doing it that way in Xhosa in that time, not a lot of people were doing it.
No.
Like that was the hey. Can you remember where you were when she went, "Diredi ugundiza ndipumoya"? Yeah, like, is that even a thing? So yeah, no. But she's the big one, I'm the small one. When she decides, I'm sure.
All right. So what you're saying basically is that the pressure needs to be directed to the big fish, not.
Yeah. No, not the small people. The little people must wait.
I hear you, but speaking of waiting, people are waiting for a new album from you. So no pressure, but people are waiting.
I know, and I've heard them. The music has been writing itself. It's growing, and very soon, I think I needed to cleanse myself of these other things, and be ready. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. So I'm probably next year.
Don't make any date promises. Just it's coming.
No. But yeah. But probably next year we'll start preparing.
Okay. Well, Mandisi, thank you so much for spending time with me today. It's been really cool talking to you. I wish you all the best with the album that is coming soon.
Yo.
So my name is Helen Harimbi.
And I'm MANDISI, DYANTYIS. Thank you so much for having me.
And we hope that this listening party has made you feel good. See you soon.